I'm going to say something that's going to make you a little bit uncomfortable, but it's the whole reason that we love each other, right? So, the whole reason that your personal brand isn't taking off in the way that you want it to, most likely, probably, kind of, sort of, has nothing to do with the content strategy and has everything to do with how you're showing up. And I say this because everything I'm about to describe to you inside of this episode, I was doing. And now that I look back on this moment of time, which was postpartum and stress and overwhelm and all these new things happening in my life and trying to keep my just head above water, I look back at this with such loving eyes and also just like lessons learned. And so in today's episode, I really want to discuss and break down why your personal brand isn't working. I want to talk about how AI has really shifted this inside of my own brand and how you can actually start to build authority as a mom. And if you're not a mom and you're tuning into this episode, I want you to know that there's still value inside of this, because it's when you have multiple projects, you have multiple responsibilities, and you have everything going on under the sun, and you feel this pressure. Like, your top of funnel is your social media, it's your content, it's your marketing. You know how important it is to create more opportunities and money, even if it's not your main lead gen source. You know how important it is. So this still will apply to you, because I'm going to be talking just about being overwhelmed and having a lot of things going on and what usually happens in this moment of time. And so what usually happens and what gets in the way and what's killing your brand is that when you're stressed, what happens? Your brand becomes the last thing you're often thinking about. And it's not that you don't have these hits and these ideas and these messages to talk about. You have built something, you have incredible life story, you go through life and you have things that you want to share, but the problem is, because it's the last thing on your list, you're showing up in this raw, unfiltered, just worn out version of yourself. And when someone has such a message to say, but the package of which it's delivered isn't put together, the message goes down. And we are in this season of authenticity and being out there and doing things that are really important. And I love this, because we want to move with this wave of AI and we still want to keep ahead of it by keeping the human alive. I'm obsessed with that part. But when I'm scrolling the internet and what I'm seeing in a lot of social medias and a lot of brands is this, like, majority of your feed being made up of you at the gym, you no makeup on, you late night, you poor lighting, you in this raw human form. And bless you that is when you feel the most confident to record and to post. Like, that's so great. But we live in an aesthetic world. And people, when you put intentionality into a brand, when you put intentionality into your media and how you show up, people naturally are going to take it more seriously. And so when you're showing up and you're looking raw and unfiltered, and majority of your content is you looking very tired and beat down, it doesn't matter what your message is. The source of which it's coming through is not someone people want to be. Your job isn't just to have information that you spew, it's to be someone people want to be in proximity to you. Now, with the rise of AI and everything, information is not for lack, right? Like, we don't need to just get in particular rooms. We can listen to podcasts, we can talk to AI, we can do things, we can learn all this information that we want. But we want to be in proximity to power. We want to be in proximity to people that shift us and move us. So you need to present yourself. It matters. It doesn't mean you need a whole media kit. You need to have film days and you need to do all this stuff, although those are fun. You can do it in your living room. I do majority of my content here in my office, which is, if you guys are watching the video, that's where I'm at right now, or in my living room, because there's really good natural lighting there. You can do it where you are, but you have to put yourself together in order to get your message to land. I like the videos where, like, sometimes, like, you guys see this in my kitchen where it's like I just woke up, or I'm in the gym, or like something like that. Those are the sometimes, not the always. The always is this representation of your highest self, because that is what people want to listen to. You may have a message that is so fucking killer, so unique, so just, juicy, but there needs to be intentionality in the way that you present it. 2, complaining about being tired or that it's hard. When I'm scrolling through social media and I'm hearing a lot of this, don't want to call it rage bait because it's not rage bait, but it's this kumbaya circle. Like, people love to trauma bond, especially moms. I'm so tired, I'm so worn down. And honestly, that content gets a lot of traction because a lot of people have this collective feeling, right? But when you're sitting there and you're complaining and you're talking about how tired you are and you're talking about how hard it is, this is not content. This is not, that's your journal. That's you, just what you would talk about with your girlfriends about. And yes, you can talk about how tired you are and like, it's a normal thing, but then to sit there and have that be your main strategy. And the thing is, in your head, you think that's the thing that's working because you're probably getting more views, you're probably getting more conversation around it. But are you getting more sales? Truthfully. And even further on that, are you getting sales from the right types of people? Because my guess is, if you're having a lot of kumbaya content, you're going to get a lot of kumbaya people that just want their feelings validated and they require a lot of hand holding. And that just isn't fun for you, especially those of you that are moms. This is going to require a lot of your capacity, which, I'm sorry, I am a mom. My capacity is very limited. I don't have a lot of space for a lot of victimization and unprocessed emotions and trauma. Like, there's a reason I moved out of that department, because it takes a lot to hold that. And so when you're sitting there and you're creating content around that and talking about how hard it is and how you fell off and here's your rebuild and here's how all this stuff, people are going to gravitate towards it. They're going to sit there and they're going to be like, oh my God, me too. But it's going to get you where? And it's going to get you with who? And so you just have to be very, very mindful about that, because this is a thing that is definitely going to be killing your brand. Another thing that I see is this this pridefulness about doing it solo. Anytime I hear someone in their brand and they're talking about, like, I'm a solo mom and no village, no nanny, no support, I'm like, that sounds fucking horrible. And in the back of my mind, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm thinking about, you must not be a very nice person. Because raising a family, running a business, showing up online, creating content, doing this thing consistently requires a whole bunch of help. Whether you decide to hire it, whether you decide to move towards it, whether you decide to be around it. Like, I am primary parent. I'm doing majority of this by myself, but it takes a fucking village. I moved closer to my parents so that I could be by that village. We had a nanny. I don't want to have a nanny during these golden windows in these years that, like, my kid, everything he does is fucking adorable. Like, I don't want someone else to do that. That's why I expanded my capacity to work longer shifts at night and optimize nap windows, which I call the second shift. But I still wouldn't say, oh, I'm doing this by myself. Fuck no. My friends are the best. Like, my family is the best. AI is the best. Like, there's so many my church, the support, all of these people around in order to get the support so I can show up in my highest capacity for my kid and my business. And you guys is the most important thing, because that's pride. There's this pride of, like, I did this myself. And it's like, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of questions I have in my head when people say this, of just like, one, why don't you have anyone? And I get different circumstances, different things, but, like, why are you doing this by yourself? Why are you choosing to do that by yourself? And if you have no support, truthfully, how are you then pouring into your kids? Because all of this is a lot. Kids are a lot. And so if it's just you, I'm going to assume there's a lot of overwhelm, there's a lot of burnout, there's a lot of stuff. And I highly recommend getting some type of support, even if it's just therapy once a week, so that you can actually talk to someone about yourself, not the kids, and talk in an adult voice about it. But it really is, it kills people's brand, at least for when I see this. I don't trust anyone that is saying those types of things, because I can't trust you to deliver on any type of product or service or whatever, because I know how hard it is. And I can only imagine where would that fit. And so if you're doing this inside of your brand because you think it gives you more authority, it doesn't. It doesn't. Anyone that is making good money and anyone that's doing anything has an entire fucking village, even if they don't have kids. They hire people inside of their businesses. They're using AI. Most of the time, they're not taking care of their homes. Other people are. They have really good support from their spouses and partners. They have family. They hire help. Like, it is a
whole fucking team, whether it was something that they have inside of their family unit or it's something that they hire. You have to be able to sit here and really recognize what is the thing that you want, what is the desired outcome that you want, and stop trying to get your pride in the way, thinking this makes you look cool. It really fucking doesn't. Doing anything solo, it's very, at least for me, it makes me question, why are you solo all the time? And then the last one that I see that's killing your brand is sitting there and thinking and pretending that motherhood doesn't exist. For my moms out there, the ones that are building brands where it's just education content, or it's just you promoting how cool you are, but there's no other context or flavor to your life, and therefore it's showing up as though this is the only thing that you're doing. And it just, in my mind, I don't feel anything with people, and I'm sure a lot of you guys feel this way too. There's no heartbeat, there's no connection, and yes, you may save their content, but you would never actually hire them because there's no relatability factor. I see this a lot with the moms that just aren't showing the fact that they're moms, and they're not showing the fact that they are juggling all this, and that they're doing it with their head held high. And it's not that they're not tired, but like, holy shit, we're going to pave a new way. This is the first generation of people doing this. Like, let's lead it, let's demonstrate, let's show it, versus like, no, this is the only thing. I don't know. I just don't trust that. I don't trust that side of the internet that is this one way. And then you're saying, oh, but I'm just trying to be private. And it's like, what is, like, it's just avoidance to me. I don't love it that much. And so when I'm looking at things, that's what I'm seeing. What is actually killing your brand is this whole, either you're hiding too much, or you're overspilling too much trying to be authentic, or you're not taking care of yourself, but yet you have a powerful message and you're trying to demonstrate it, and like it's getting lost in the void because the package of which it's being demonstrated in, or you're just sitting there being like, I'm doing this all on my own. It's like, that sounds fucking exhausting. And so making sure when you're looking at your brand, it's just, there is a feeling people get from your brand. There is an essence people get from you, from how you demonstrate, how you're navigating all of this stuff in your life, and how you're being able to handle it. People want to connect to you. They want to see you're a human going through things, sure, but that you're handling it in a way that they admire, that honestly triggers them to do better in their own life. This is going to be a huge, huge demonstration of your own power and how you do this. And I say this because I've done all these things. I was doing all these things and showing up in my raw and real, and my hair's a mess, and like the angles are fucking horrible, and the lighting is horrible, and I'm sitting there and I'm being truthful. This is authentic. And then I'm, saying, oh, I'm doing this on my own. And then I realize this is fucking stupid. Why am I doing that? And then I'm complaining about how tired I am, but I'm getting a lot of validation, and I just want to be seen and heard and felt. And then I was never in this bucket of pretending motherhood didn't exist. I have always been very open about that. But all of these things, like, I know that feeling of just kind of floundering and trying to figure it out to find your way, but remembering, like, this is your place you plug into for your power. And people pay you for your power. They're not paying you to be friends with you. Yes, you should have a relatability factor. If you haven't done the program Unrelatably Relatable, I highly recommend checking that out. But there should be this part that triggers them because you're so powerful in a moment that they're feeling a wobble in, and in that they feel like they can get it too. It's not so outrageous and so outlandish, but it's this part of like, oh, she's handling this so well, and they honestly slightly compare themselves to you, that they sit there and they go, oh, I can do this too. Like, that is the bread and butter, baby. That is when you actually get people moving. That is when you get your brand actually paying you, versus just this content machine that you just keep showing up to, and it's not actually doing anything for you. Therefore, it's not buying back your time, and therefore you're stressed and you're not actually present with your kids. Like, it's a whole conundrum, right? And so when I moved through all of these things and I started to look at, okay, what is actually cock-blocking my brand from doing the things that I want to do, and how can I utilize modern technology? Example being, is it IE? I think so. IE being AI. I am obsessed with using AI in the proper way, especially as a busy mom, as multiple projects, as someone that's a primary parent, like all of these things, someone that's getting fit, staying fit, building a juicy ass, someone that's really dialed in on her nutrition and her mental health, like all of these things, I use AI. I use AI to actually be the best version of myself, and also all of these things to build my personal brand. A lot of you use AI and ChatGPT and Claude, write my captions, or you screenshot something that makes you feel empowered, and you're like, I want something like this. Make my brand sound like this. And I love you, but that is not even remotely close to what AI could do. Also, it never is going to sound like you because you never fed it the right information to make it sound like you anyways, and so it has no idea how to spin that. It's just guessing based on the niche that you gave it. Here's the thing that it needs to do, and then it's pumping out regurgitated information and like it's just agreeing with you with whatever you have to say versus pushing back on you. And so when you actually know how to use AI, you can do things that actually put you back into your leadership versus outsourcing your leadership to a robot. That's not what you do with this. You infuse your genius into a thing that then amplifies your genius. It cannot be your genius. And so there are a few ways that I've been using AI to actually change my entire brand that has shifted. Like this month alone, we've had almost 500,000 views. We've made so much fucking money and had the time of my life while also being present with my son and not negotiating on that, because that's something that was super big for me, is that I am not here to negotiate these golden years with my son. Like, it is not up for debate that I am going to be chasing the dollar during this season of my life, but at the same time, I want that fucking bag. You know what I mean? Like, I can't rest easy if I'm not getting rich. And so it's this really cool dance. And so that's what I'm really shifting into inside of my own personal brand, is showing you guys how to use AI and how to do that specifically as moms and busy individuals to actually amplify your personal brand and make you bank while you are in nap time. And so one of the first things that I did is AI has made me more organized, more strategic, and more intentional about what I put out. Prior to AI, I was testing everything. And you guys may be able to relate to this, like when you're going through life and sticky pickles and you don't know your identity and things are shifting, like you're just kind of regurgitating information and you're like hanging on by a fucking thread to like the ideas you used to have and trying to be validated and trying to pump out content, and like you're not actually building any data on anything. You're not actually building a business. You're just pumping out content with no actual real purpose. You may be launching things, it may provide some value, but how do I even explain this? It's you're just doing things based off of your quote unquote intuition, not actually based on the market. And so you have these ideas and you have these things, and you might be voice noting AI and doing some stuff and using it in this kind of way to create some captions or story slides or write emails, but it's not actually the full capacity of what you could be doing that would help you figure out what the gap in the market is that you could then fill and then make money and make content and then make money from that. And so that's what I was doing, is I was just posting posts. It was definitely in survival mode. And I would love to say like, I definitely learned this. No, it took me a solid year to finally admit to myself I was in complete survival mode postpartum and just blasting my brand and doing all of these like things I knew how to do, but just like it was all fillers. Like it was things that were kind of working, but they weren't like full blown how I was used to them working because I was in such survival mode. And so there was no real data, and I was just kind of making it up as I went and going off of my intuition that honestly had no place to be running my life at that time. You know, like hormones were up a fucking wall. And so after AI, and currently like what's happening in my life is there's actual data being taken in, there's market research that's happening, there's actual strategy that's happening, and it's operating from information, not emotion. A lot of you are running your businesses off of emotion, not actual information. If you slow down a little bit and you actually get information from the market, you will be able to have a lot better success than you're having right now. And you'll be able to chill the fuck out because you'll actually be having results that you want, so you won't have the split energy between you and your kid. It's great. And so this is actually what helps me during the second shift, which I explained to you guys earlier, is this time when I'm filming right now after my son goes to bed. I call it the second shift. It's between 8 to 11 p.m., sometimes 12 p.m. or a.m. that I work, where it's uninterrupted flow state. I can record without my kid coming in and smashing everything down, or knowing he's going to wake up from a nap. Like he's out. And so I get to do the things that I need to do for my business that are actually highest leverage tasks that are going to make me money tomorrow, versus being in here and scrolling the internet and writing captions and setting up email sequences and shit that doesn't fucking work. Versus I sit here and I'm like, okay, here's the strategy, here's the market research, here's the information based on the last week, here's what we're going to optimize, here's what we're doing tomorrow, here's what we're doing this week, here's the goal at hand. Like it's way more CEO vibes versus like this cute little hobby that just happened to make me money. It's very, very strategic. This is also, AI is my village. Like this is the thing that this is part of my village. It runs my entire life. And you guys are going to be seeing this a lot more on my social media, but AI runs literally everything in the background so that I can use my second shift, so that my nutrition is dialed in, so that my workouts are dialed in, so that scheduling is all done, so that emails and inboxes are cleared and set up. Like it has everything set up and done for me so that I can actually focus on the things that I enjoy, things that make me happy, things that make me a better mom, things that make me more present. Like these are the things that we're really missing out on. And it goes far beyond just like, write me a fucking caption. Like this is honestly part of my village. This is one of the most important village members that like never judges and always has something to offer me. You know what I mean? And so what actually builds authority as a mom, and what actually helps you build a personal brand online as a mom, is one, structure. You cannot build authority in the chaos. And this is where I talk a lot about AI, where it's like, even if it's as simple as just like riff all of your ideas and all of the things in your head come the middle of the day or whenever it is, like keep an open thread and just say, I'm not done yet. I'm not, like after you have one riff, just be like, don't respond yet at the end of the riff. And then after that riff, okay, don't respond yet. And then once you're done with all your riffs for the day, and then you're like, okay, based on everything that I said today, can you give me a cohesive thing on what would actually move the needle forward in my business? And even that will create more structure. But your audience needs to feel that you have it together. From the way that you present yourself, from how you show up online, to how, like the background that you have on certain things, to what you're talking about, to the way that you talk, to how you present yourself. Like these things are all authority building activities. It's not just how you speak or what you speak about and how much knowledge you have. It's the presentation. Your personal brand is a presentation of it all. You can have something that is so important to say to the world, but because the package is just in trash and it's just confusing and there is nothing that's actually cohesive, it gets completely lost and you instantly lose your authority. And so yes, you might be tired, yes, there might be a lot going on, but to be able to create a space, like just pick a space in your house that you're consistently filming in, like build an office, build a little corner if you don't have an office, have a space that it's just, this is it, so that there is some cohesion to your brand, that when people fall in it, they're like, oh, this bitch, she has a lot going on. She's a new mom, or like she has like 47 kids, but look at her. She has it together. She has mascara on. She's got good lighting. Like I'm curious, how do you do that? How do you, like, this is a way that people are going to see, holy shit, even in the midst of what we know is chaos. You could be traveling around, you could be having life events, all this stuff. Even in the midst of that, there is an element of consistency. And because that element of consistency and structure, they trust you and they want to pay attention. Second is organization. Your content, your offers, your schedule. When all of these make sense and they are tight and they're not built off of emotion or quote unquote intuition or any of this kind of stuff, when they're actually tight and make sense, your brand is going to make a lot of sense. Right now, I can even speak on this. Right now, I'm in a season of rebranding everything, up-leveling everything. There are things that worked, there are things that didn't work. And I'm sitting here going, how can I make this as easy as possible for you guys? How can I make it as easy as possible for you specifically to be able to use these things to really focus on what mattered? Like I can look back at my business and I had so many different offers that had no fucking place being offers or things that I was talking about, versus sitting and slowing down and going, okay, what do I actually want to be known for? Okay, it's helping moms use AI to simplify their lives and maximize their profit. Okay. Simple. Now I know my offers fit into this. There's not all this identity work. There's not all this stuff. There's not feminine energetics and trauma and mindset and manifestation. Like, it's not all over the fucking board. It's like, here's this one lane. And then here are the tools you guys need in order to succeed doing this. And these are what you're going to see me do for the next 6 months here. Because hot moms, hot business, baby. Like, that is it. And so it's really getting organized on what that is and putting systems in place. You have 2 brain cells, and oftentimes you're trying to split that between your home life and your relationship and your being a mom and friends and community and church and spiritual practices and self-care and all these kind of things. It's like when you can sit and go, okay, this is the one lane. So the one day a week that you may have to yourself, or the one night that you get to actually work on your business, you know exactly what the fuck you're bringing it to. Like, simplicity and organization is going to be your innate and shining armor during this season of absolute shift. Number 3 is support. You need to stop thinking that you need to do this on your own. I get it. I don't want to inconvenience anyone, and I don't have anyone, or like whatever. Like, you can find someone. Like, even now I just moved to a part of town that is closer to my parents, but my dad's only available on Wednesdays. Like, he's got a life. He has things going on. He's got to go golfing. Like, I'm sure if I asked him, he could help me in certain ways for certain stuff, but like, I get one day, so I have to make it work. And I learned how to use AI to be part of my village, to open up a lot of things for me. I joined a church, and I joined 2 church groups to get more support for certain things. I have my therapist, I have my aunt, I have my sister, right? Like, I source different people for different things. I have all of my friends. Like, there are people in your life that you can source, and if you don't have them, go to your church. There are always, that's what they are. They have groups. They're there. Like, that's what they're there for. They're prayer people. Like, that is what they're there for, to support you on. And so just go find it. You're not this whole like stake in the ground. That's your own healing to do, of just like, I need to carry the weight and do it on my own, and I have to do everything on my own because everyone always lets me down. Bitch, go figure out who hurt you and move through that shit, because the world is a very easy place when you have support. It is not that difficult. Trust me, it's not that difficult. I had a very hard season, and I get all these things, and it's like, really leaning in and forgiveness, it's one hell of a fucking drug. 4 is optimization. You need to stop testing so much right now. Like, yes, test different things and stuff, but like, do market research. Look at what's working. Trust your market. Even before coming on this podcast, I wanted to talk about feely stuff. Like, I wanted to go in one direction. But because I put a poll on my stories and I said, what do you guys want to talk about the most? You guys answered about this topic the most. I'm like, well, that is what we are going to yap about then tonight. Like, this is what we're going to sit down and grab our green, or not a green tea, whatever fucking tea this is, lemon bulb tea. We're going to sit down, we're going to have this conversation because this is what you want to talk about. Don't forget, you can source data from your people. You can talk about stuff. You can ask AI to do market research for you over the last 30 days about what's relevant and what's being talked about in your current market right now, so that you can actually create things that have relevance. A lot of you are just guessing to guess and going off of based intuition and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, there is a reason why you're staying broke and staying in the same fucking cycle, because you're not actually using the sources that are so easily at your fingertips right now. Actually, if you come into my Instagram, which is it's Laura Patricia Martin, so ITS Laura Patricia Martin, and you just message me 7, you're going to get an entire content calendar that's going to show you how to do this. Or if you're looking for more structure and time, actually, I'll just put it in the show notes too, but you can also just message me time, and I'm going to send you how I actually use my scheduler. I'll give you all the prompts that I use inside of Claude to schedule my entire fucking life. So we have, whether it's content and you want to learn about market research and optimization, that's 7. And then for time and like structure and organization, message me time. I think I said that right. 7 for content, time. Anyways. And then the last one is trimming. And what I mean by this is you can't do things like you used to do them. And this is a really hard one for me to learn, is that after I became a mom, I really wanted to hold on to my old identity so bad. Like, it was so hard. I mean, it took me a solid year to finally even release a little knuckle grip on it, to admit that like what once worked did not work. And I remember specifically I was sitting inside of a masterclass when I first got that hit. And it was like, I'm running this masterclass. I'm going to put out these offers when I go into labor. Lo and behold, I went into labor 3 months early. My kid's on life support. I almost died. It's this whole fucking mess. But I'm like, but this is the plan. And I need to hold on to some part of my ego because I'm in survival mode and this is all fucking crazy. And I can't actually think about how crazy it is because I'll lose my damn mind. And so I'm in the launch and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm in this launch. I remember first day, great. Second day, I'm on this masterclass. And I remember thinking to myself, mid-sentence, why the fuck am I here? All I could think about was my baby in the NICU on life support. And I'm like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? And I realized just this isn't going to be the model that works. And yet, because it took me so long, it took me almost a year to finally release and go, actually, I'm basically going to just start over because this is not going to work for me for the type of motherhood I want to remember it. That space between that moment and me actually doing anything about it was almost a year. To actually trimming down and getting rid of literally everything except for a handful of private clients. I was like, these masterminds, these programs, these everythings, I don't want to do this way. I may want to do it sometime. These are all great. I'm going to repurpose them. I'm going to do some stuff, but like me live away from my kid, it didn't work. So I had to trim so many things and just accept this season of my life, the thing that I prayed for my entire existence of being an adult, of just like, I want to be a mom so fucking bad. And then I'm gifted this opportunity. Hello, I'm okay for a moment taking a pause and at the same time restructuring so that I can make as much money as possible in this season of life. It could be I could make a lot more if I did it a different way, but I'm not willing to fuck around and find out with that. I'm willing to do it this way and to see how it works because my kid will eventually go to school and then I'll have my time back. You know what I mean? These are things of just like motherhood and power coexisting, and you need to trim things down and you're going to be okay. That it's different from before. You're going to survive, but if you keep gripping to what was before, you can never figure out the full potentiality of what is in this moment right now. I say this as much to you as I said it to me, to finally be in this position and actually feel free to create again. And so the hot mom who's winning online isn't the one who has it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out. I don't. But I did stop performing. I stopped performing the struggle. I stopped performing that it's perfect. I stopped having to pick. It's just really sitting and going, the hot mom is the person that's the most authentic expression, but the highest authentic expression. It's not the version of you that sits with your husband after a long day and is just a hot fucking mess eating pickles. Like that, not that version. It's the version of you that gets to the end of the day and you're like, oh, I am so satisfied. I did it. That's hot mom, running a hot business. And that is what this entire hot mom summer is all about. And so I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited whether you're an OG and you've been here for a hot freaking minute, or you're new and you're a mom that's just like, I need to get it together. What is the meaning of life? And you're trying to like find that. I'm happy that you're here. And it means the world to me when you guys give us that 5-star rating and that you share with us. But it means even more to me when you come into my DMs and you message me what your biggest takeaway from this is. Because I know some of us can be listening and we're like sideline listeners. But when the conversations we have in the DMs after these podcasts, it's my favorite fucking hobby. Like it literally makes my entire business just, I love it. So I want to hear from you after this episode, what you're taking away, what you're doing differently, and if you're going to go bigger because of it. And so I love you so much. You're an incredible mother if you haven't heard that today. You're an incredible human outside of just being a mom, and you're able to have it all, but it takes a lot of shifting, a lot of ego deaths, a lot of pride just being ripped from your soul so you can actually live in the full potentiality of what this moment is. And I truly believe in my core when you can figure out how to optimize AI and you can actually figure out how to build a personal brand that actually drives traffic to your digital assets, you will be the best mom available because you'll be making money, which is the safest feeling a woman can ever have, while also being present with your child, which is also naturally what we are born here to do. So that's what we're here to do, and I'm so excited that you're here. So make sure that you're subscribed so that you can get more of this and share it with your mama friend so we can all build a crazy ass cult and have the time of our lives of being hot and building hot businesses. Okay, I love you. Bye.